Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Face to Face Time with the Schnackys. Featuring tonight's guest hosts, Travis Piper and Dave Chandler.
Hello, and welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the second night of face-to-face time with Schnackys. Now, Dave and I are two of the more senior members of the Monsignor Schnacky Community Players. We are here to welcome you to our first night of hosting our first ever virtual show. Now, for those of you that know my face, I should explain that it's a bit crooked temporarily due to some recent surgery. All is good, getting better every day. It's just that my smile is only half recovered, but all is good. So, who are the Monsignor Schnacky Community Players? This group was started in 1982 when Monsignor Albert Schnacky volunteered me and my wife Kathy to start a theater group at St. Catherine's Church in Mendon, New York. More about that later. That was 39 years ago, but what a wonderful ride it has been for almost 700 volunteers who have participated in our shows and for over 51,000 people who have sat in our 224-seat hall and booed and hissed and thrown popcorn and tapped their toes to our music and laughed at our intentional and even our unintentional comedy. Now, Dave's and my goal tonight for this first segment that we are calling Act One is to share with you some of the wonderful times and memories we've all experienced over our first 39 years of performances. Now, this should take about 15 minutes, then it'll be time for our first shameless commercial break before we go on to Acts 2 and Act 3. So, Dave, just what is a melodrama anyway?
Well, Travis, melodramas are an almost forgotten art form. They were introduced to the Rochester area by the Penfield Players after one of their members, Dolly Harris, who had appeared in one of our shows, brought the idea back from having seen a show out west. Every melodrama is basically the same, with villains and heroines and heroes and characters from all walks of life. Names, places, and time periods may change, but the scenarios are similar. They are funny in a very offbeat way, and they allow the audience to take an active role, such as booing for the villain and cheering for the hero and sighing for the heroine.
And one neat thing about melodramas, Dave, is they often have written in mistakes to make the audience think that something went wrong. For instance, perhaps a clock is supposed to chime at a certain point. The actor's line might read, "Hark, I hear the clock chime." Waits, and then again, "Hark, I hear the clock chime," and it finally chimes. Well, we chose to do melodramas early on for this very reason, as we were very short on experienced actors. In fact, our first show, Pure as the Driven Snow, had just one person in the cast who had ever been on stage before, and that was my wife, Kathy, who played the heroine, Purity Dean. And I was the default director because I had directed one show earlier with Penfield Players.
Melodramas allow you to use a lot of shtick, such as snow in the face and kick in the bucket when you die, and even reusing the same cape for all of the characters. So let's take a look at our first montage of some of our melodramas highlights over our first 39 years.
No, I mean, here's your water, Sheriff. Just like that.
This is from the show, 1995 show, Picture Burned to the Wall.
Add a little sound effects and milk it for all it's worth.
Amazing what you can get from a shot glass. This is another clip from the same picture. Her picture turned to the wall.
Forgive me, I seem to have lost my way. I was looking for the lobby. You found it.
What is here, Sid?
This is the lobby of the Turkey Neck Hotel and Post Office.
Shabby is definitely in. This is the kind of place where they don't change the sheets. They
Note
change
the freeze when the villain is talking with the audience. Everybody else in the cast assumes a frozen position.
The eyeglasses with the check room, 4 hats and reps and walking sticks. I'm used to the finest, you understand.
That's Frank Russell, one of our favorite villains.
Great. I'm a world traveler. Note my ring. Genuine zircon from Cuba. I suppose you'll get sunburned. I dote on plan.
You got a license for that ring?
Yeah, a female sheriff. What next? Hillary in the White House?
Invariably, we throw in a couple of political lines.
Why, this is a jack of spades, and it's got a bullet hole right through the center. My mistake.
I think this bit is probably in 3 or 4 of the shows we've done over the years.
Rudolph von Doberman, gentleman at large.
Why, he don't look so large to me.
Yeah, and a rustic. I can't divide them, but still, I must appear to be civil until I get what I want. And you, madame, must be Mother Tub.
How do?
Mother Tub, what can we do for you, Mr. Von Doberman? Speak up, speak up.
What's your business? I got a right to know. I'm the law.
So this is what is known as Southwestern hospitality. A gentleman enters from the dusty street, and instead of a welcome, he's bombarded with inquiry. Yeah.
Oh, now forgive us. We didn't mean to appear rude. Why, it's just a
I love the way she flails her arms.
Yeah.
Turkey Neck.
Small wonder considering the wealth.
I think she'd always lose a few pounds every show.
Sit yourself down. Come on, take a load off. Why,
That's
I
Maureen
just
McHugh.
this morning.
Just a tremendous
Yeah.
actress.
Well, what did you dust with? Dust?
There's some more of that shtick we're talking about. The dust
Yeah.
on the chair. Now pay attention to the
What
glove.
it is?
You from the
Yeah.
bed?
Are you a bad guy?
Simple little task of just take off your glove.
I shall get
Right.
patient curiosity. We know that.
And the audience reacts right away.
That's right, February. You have the money. It's a tidy sum, and I'm a tidy man. I don't see why the money is any concern of yours. I purchased a mortgage from the Bank of Morocco.
What?
You owe the tidy sum to me. Pay up or prepare to vacate the premises.
I don't believe it. Why, no, Father, no. He's kin.
He's no kin of mine,
You don't mean that, Father.
and you are no
This shows
kin of
our
mine.
heroine being shamed.
The perfect heroine.
Just
Yeah.
watch. What's he doing?
God fear the worst.
Don't do it, Dad. From this day forth, it's night. From this night forth, our daughter is as one dead.
Oh, what a mean guy.
I never want to hear her name mentioned. I never want to set eyes on her again. Does this mean we won't be staying the night?
What are you going to do?
Your picture. I'm turning it to the wall.
Oh no.
Not that.
I think you can see
Back
the
it out.
audience shtick there.
Hey, to believe I dare not go against your father, much as this pains me to say.
paying her to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Can't we talk about this, Papa? Out, Edgar, out! I'm going to my crab. Come on, Julie. We'll take the night stage to Bluefield.
Pay attention to his face. You'll see something in a minute that is a lot of fun.
Your picture has been turned to the wall. No more need be said. Be gone,
What a
Julie.
mean guy.
Be gone, Julie. You are no longer a daughter of mine. And remember,
Typical heroin
from this
gesture.
night forth, we are childless.
Oh,
This next clip is a same picture, a picture turned to the wall in 1995. This is a heroine returns home.
Well, if it would do any good, I'd hold my breath. That's the spirit, Father Tom.
Money, money, money. Money, money, money. Money, money, money.
Elf has been a crazy in quite a few shows when I think about it.
Oh, she has.
Well, for one thing, he's got dandruff in his mustache.
Nothing worse than dandruff in your mustache.
What was that?
What was what?
Well, I...
Now watch the setup on this for everybody's expecting her to come in the
Well, there it is.
main door.
Sheriff?
So exciting.
Well, it can't be.
Stop battling, woman, and tell me who it is.
Julie!
Oh, say that
Why, somebody say...
The daughter has returned.
And she's coming this way.
So everybody's looking, and there she comes. She must have a key to the back door.
I see nothing. Father Tom, she's standing right there.
What? Yes, but he turned her picture to the wall. I say, Julie, you sure look poorly. Why, I'm telling you a dirty old dress, but you're wearing one.
Private state of knowledge. No longer am I an ailing girl with stardust in my eyes.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I came into that way because I saw Father to build a doorstep out front. I did not wish to knock.
God, did you hear that? Ain't that thoughtful?
I have returned here because I have no place else to go.
Oh,
Has your husband deserted you?
No, but he's up there.
Where? On the roof.
He is gone. When he was playing Zephyr, someone forgot to close the trap door. He left the stage so fast, I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye.
that is my absolute favorite heroine line.
Yeah.
Your family.
The mortgage is due soon, and we're penniless.
Maybe Jubilee has some insurance money. It's a thought.
Just when you didn't think he was listening.
That's right.
Bring you great joy. Say, I left it in the shade of the porch. I shall fetch it.
Oh, can I help?
Oh, it's not heavy. I can manage.
Whoa! That is some expensive piece of
She is great.
Oh, yeah.
How will you go?
Why, we've been turning that all right.
Here I come.
We're waiting, dear. A
Now,
baby.
Not
if you see something familiar.
Yeah. Tommy Tapsu Jr.
Our audience loves these melodramas.
Lay one hand on that infant, and I'm going to the YMCA. I mean it. I have no daughter, therefore I can have no grandchild.
What a rotten guy.
Oh! When her picture was turned to the wall, all was said and done. Hey, that floor poster bed in my room is a lot of bunk.
Always have puns in melodramas. And bed's a lot of bunk.
I thought when you saw little Travis that you touched you would be left. I thought your heart was set.
You thought wrong.
I go. Forgive my return. I meant no harm. I hope.
Snow in the face. You know, Travis, that was 25 years ago, and I don't think I've changed.
Well, probably not. Yeah. Too cute. That's a great example of melodrama with villain, hero, heroines, and shtick. And the audience laughter just says it all. Everybody just got a big kick out of it. So now we're going to turn it back over to Andrea and Patrick, and we're going to get ready for Act 2 about Monsignor Schnacky, the draft, and a small part.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.
Hi, honey, I'm home. Here's the mail.
What's this, Jane sees? A very large insurance bill from Large Lizard Insurance Company. Jane's angry and shouts at Dick about the high bill. Dick is angry and shouts at Jane about the high bill. Jane suddenly gets an idea. Why not call the good people at J.D. Chapman Agency? They'll help us out. Jane talks on the phone while Dick listens. Jane's happy with what she hears. The good people at J.D. Chapman Agency can save them money and give them better coverage. Dick is happy too. The good people at J.D. Chapman Agency can take care of everything. Why don't you be like Dick and Jane and contact J.D. Chapman Agency at 315-986-4062. Or if you're like Dick, he prefers using the interweb and types in jdchapmaninc.com. Dick and Jane live happily ever after.
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard. The Menden Honey Falls Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
All right. Hello.
Hi.
How are ya?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
How are you?
You're doing
We're
good.
having a good show again.
Yeah, we are having a great show. So I can't hear you very well. I don't know if I don't know if that's just me, but it's okay.
Take off my glasses. That might help.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you.
That'll work.
Hi,
Okay.
I'm Andrea. That's perfect.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Andrea again. I don't know if you guys remember. And that's Patrick.
Yeah, this is me.
So
Trying to fix my sound.
we are very excited to be here. And again, and you'll see our cute little faces all the time for the next 7 nights. So do you like what you see on stage? You're going to be getting a lot of that example for, this whole show. So last night we kind of talked about like what we were doing tonight, and the next 6 nights we're going to be showing you the past shows and then some Schnackys Got Talent. So if you like what you see, please join us on mscptheater.org. You can hit the contact information and give us your information, and we will contact you as soon as possible. And because we are dying to get back on stage, we miss you so much. Isn't it right, Patrick?
Yes, we are. And you don't have to be somebody that's experienced in stage or have anything to do in the background. We'll find a place for you. We'd love to have you. My first time on stage, I was completely new and never been on stage before, and I got the lead. So I got my feet wet really quickly. So come one, come all. We'd love to have you along, and send us your information. We'll get you in somewhere.
Yes, there's a place for everyone. And we are a people of community. We're a theater group like no other. And if you're saying, it's amazing how they put everything on. Wow. Well, that is from people's donated time and donations from our audience. And we want to give you guys quality shows for the rest of our lives. So we want to actually keep it going. So if you'd like to donate, anything is fine. It's really okay if you're feeling the spirit to do that. That's great. We so appreciate it. We appreciate all that our audience does, and so give us a little love there. And if you can't, that's okay. A prayer or good vibes would work just as well. Really, because we're praying for you tonight. We're sending good vibes out to our audience. I know it's a little weird with like social media. It's a little glitchy, but hopefully people jumped on Zoom and that works real well. So, now
Yes.
we have a free giveaway, Patrick.
Okay. I
And
think
where is
it's
that
to
from?
the Cottage Hotel and Restaurant in Mendon, I believe.
Yes, the Cottage Hotel is it's a great place. If you've ever been there, they have great food, and we are giving them some love. You guys you'll be able to win a $25 gift certificate. So I know that YouTube is down, so those poor people are probably scrambling to find. But if you are on Facebook tonight, and remember this is eligible if you're live watching right now. If it's a recorded show, it's not. It's over with. But live show, please on Facebook comment and share the video. And then put your name on there in your comment, and then we'll DM you for your address. And on Zoom, put a comment in the chat for us. Let us know, yay, I want free food or something like that. And let us know, and we'll put you in a drawing, and the winner will be announced tonight at the end of the show.
Yes. And last night's winner was for Parkside Pizza in Bloomfield. And they got a nice package. So we're all about giving away food and feeding people. So
we're all about feeding people. We're all about family. You can be with your loved ones, do takeout, whatever you want to do. But really, we're just so happy that you're here. And you will see our cute little faces again. Travis and Dave, back to you. We'll see you soon.
All righty.
Welcome back.
Yes, indeed. So here we are for what we are calling Act 2, and we've titled it Monsignor Schnacky, The Draft, and a Small Part. So what we're going to do is share with you some of our history, focusing on Monsignor Schnacky, without whom none of this would have ever happened. And then we're going to show you how we transitioned the empty church hall at St. Catherine's into our theater, where all the magic takes place. And along the way, we're going to drop in some of our funnier clips that have put big smiles on the faces of our audiences, which is what it's always been all about. So, Dave, before we start showing clips about Monsignor and set construction, as our stage designer, what would you like to add to help set the stage for this first segment?
Well, Travis Monsignor, as you know, had a wonderful, outgoing, and welcoming personality. We would do anything for him. His goal for the players was not to bring funds for the church, but rather to build a fellowship. family, a sense of community, as well as a spiritual mission. At this, he was very successful. His roles on stage, which we'll be seeing, were always performed with impeccable timing and character development.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Dave. So, the easiest way to show how it all began is to show this clip from our 2016 show. We were celebrating 35 years. The show involved having a projection screen on stage. So as folks were walking into the hall and getting seated, we had a slideshow running, which consisted of one photo from each of our 35-year shows. Well, in this clip we're going to see now, our wonderfully entertaining master of ceremonies, Dick Schoen, has just finished warming up the crowd and announces that it's showtime. Enjoy.
In the late 1970s, today's little chapel was St. Catherine's Church, near the road. Monsignor Elder Schnacky was the priest at St. Catherine's along with his dog, Piper. The community center had recently been completed. In 1979, Monsignor Schnacky married Kathy and Travis Piper. Nearly 2 years passed as the couple settled into their new home in Bristol. Occasional reminders in the weekly bulletin prompted them to finally invite the Monsignor to dinner. During dinner, Kathy and Travis explained that they had met each other through community theater. That was about all that was said about theater that evening. And the next Sunday, Travis and Kathy were sitting in church. Kathy picked up her bulletin on the chair beside her and was aghast. Yes, aghast. To prove that, we are thinking of putting on a parish melodrama, a showing using the talents of our own parishioners. So far, we have not decided on a title or a date or anything, but Travis and Kathy of the parish will have much theatrical experience and do the directing, etc., and it ended with it could be the beginning of our amended masterpiece theater. Needless to say, after Mass, the couple approached Monsignor and said, "What is this all about?" His response, "Just be sure I get a small part."
Wow, what just happened?
Maybe I made too good of a dinner,
How are we going to pull this off?
like Monsignor does, with a wink and a smile. After all, when Monsignor asks, no one can say no.
You know what I love about you?
What?
Everything. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Our audience awaits.
So that is a very short history of how the group began. So now let's see how Monsignor did with that small part that we had to write in for him. In order for us to even have a videotape of this, which you'll see was our very first show in 1982, we had to rent this newfangled machine called a VCR. So here is Monsignor's small part, and you will see that everybody loves Monsignor.
Oh, you ruined everything!
Oh, I'm not any prouder of the relationship than you are. I married this human culture in a moment of weakness, and I've regretted it ever since.
Curses! I'm through with you.
He could make an entrance.
Oh, God. The white hat, the white suit, and the badge.
exercise, buddy. Eating a child is an ungodly offense. Sin, too.
I love this. Vanna White. The rope. Too much fun. Even grabs the villain's henchman. And the audience loved it, loved it, loved it. Cute, cute, cute. So that was our first show where we wrote in Monsignor. The second show, we don't have video of it, but we have this one picture. The show was Lily the Felon's Daughter. And again, the Monsignor showed up at the end of the show to haul the bad guy, which happened to be me this year, off to jail. Cute, cute, cute. So now you've seen what our first couple of shows looked like on stage. The only issue was that where we put on the shows, there was no and still is no permanent stage. Now that all takes us to our next segment about set building, how we borrowed stages, we built a stage, we shortened our stage, and we moved chairs. Did we ever move chairs?
Move chairs.
Well, as we said, yeah, as we've said, no one could ever say no to Monsignor Schnacky, and Kathy and I were certainly not going to be the first. So that first year, we borrowed a stage and lights from Penfield Players, and they weren't doing anything in February. So that determined when we would have our show. And we've been doing our shows in February ever since. Our biggest challenge was working around Mass, because Mass had to be held in the new community center where we wanted to have our stage, because the little chapel where church used to be held wasn't big enough to hold everybody because so many people were coming. So the first few years of doing our shows, we would come in on a Sunday after the last Mass, move all the chairs, put up the stage, work very hard on getting it all set up, rehearse on it for just Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we would do finishing touches. Thursday, we would open for a senior citizen show. Friday was opening night. Then we would take down all the tables and reset the chairs for Saturday's Mass. In fact, Monsignor would call it his high. Yeah, Monsignor would call it his high Mass because the altar had to be on the stage. And after Saturday's Mass, we would reset all the tables for Saturday night's show. And then after Saturday's show, as Dave said, we had to clean up all the popcorn, which you'll hear a lot more about. And then we had to reset the chairs to get ready for Sunday's Mass. And when that ended, then we showed up after Mass to tear down the stage and put everything away. Phew.
We made things easier for ourselves over the years. Being an architect, I designed the stage kit for the group, which was constructed on the summer after our first show. This clip shows how it goes up typically on a Friday night in just 2 or 3 hours.
Monsignor Schnacky, Community Players, set construction.
That's the wrong.
We took
That's the wrong clip. Yeah. Thank you. Sound.
Okay. There
Here we go.
The chair moving challenge was finally solved after 10 years. The theater group helped with fundraising by putting on the second shows for 2 years. Additional funds helped to build the new church where Mass is now held. Now we are able to have the entire run of the performance without having to move chairs. Travis is always running around taking pictures during set construction and tear down. He's going to share some of those with you after this clip.
Yeah, you can see all the floor pieces get attached together, and then everything rests on these legs that just sits very nicely in the hall. We had to get everything centered just right in the hall because the ceiling is peat coming down from both sides, which adds a little complication, but it all worked out thanks to Dave's planning and design and blueprints. It's like a big barn raising, just a lot of people showing up and pitching in. Good time. Then we set up tables. In this case, for costumes are still being sewn. A lot of fun.
This illustrates that there are no small parts. You see people
That's
here
very
who are
true.
characters on stage. People here are waiters and waitresses. People here who take care of our food. It's
Yeah.
everybody chips in.
Yeah. One of our actresses helped out with props one year and said it was the best experience she ever had because she just assumed when she needed a prop, somebody would jump and get it for her. And now that she had done props, she had much more appreciation for all those people that made it possible for her to be on stage. Very, very cute. All right. So as Dave mentioned, we've got that was the set construction, how we put up Dave's kit. And now we're going to talk about, let's see here. So Dave showed up with this set of blueprints, and this was 38 years ago. We're still using the same stage. We made some modifications for special effects, and you'll see more about those in later shows as well. So now let's take a quick photographic tour through the process of getting the hall ready for what we call showtime and for cleaning up afterward. And thank you, Patrick, for narrating this and for putting it all together.
Monsignor Schnacky, Community Players, Set Construction. We typically start Friday night about 6 o'clock. Within 2 to 3 hours, we have the stage and lighting truss up. The hall usually has tables set up for church functions. We take down all of the tables and start bringing in the stage sections from the back room. By the end of the evening, we have a stage, substage, and lighting truss ready for the masses on Saturday. The shows are typical Friday night A-team. Saturday morning, folks start coming into hall, lift, put up lights and walls. I always think of it as a type of barn raising. Another crew brings in food, and at about 1 o'clock, it's time to say grace and to eat. And eat. After lunch, we resume working on the set and the side masking sections. The curtains get hung, and voila, by the end of Saturday, the stage is functional for rehearsals that begin Sunday evening. This shows the hole in the back room for access to all of the flats, doors, and lumber that gets reused year after year. This shows how our lights are positioned on the lighting truss. We installed ceiling outlets to eliminate a lot of cabling. Now to show you Dave's kit being taken down. Placed on a dolly to support the weight, and stacked in the back room. The stack gets taller as the stage skirting sections are added to the stack. Finally, the legs for the stage are added and the sub-stage platform pieces are stacked in front. And as we do every year, we leave the back room better than we found it. We have costumes downstairs and more costumes upstairs. Props are put away upstairs, ready for next year. The classrooms we use for dressing rooms have been cleaned, and the classroom we use for makeup has been cleaned. The connecting wing we use for warm-up and prayers before each show has been cleaned too. Even the bathrooms have been cleaned, upstairs and downstairs. Whew. See you next year.
All right. Thanks, Patrick. So that concludes our Act 2 of tonight's show. So now you know a bit more about how the group got started and how we've been turning an empty hall into our theater for 39 years. So now we'll turn it back over to Andrea and Patrick, and we'll be back in a few minutes for Act 3, which focuses on our directors over the years, as well as some more historic happenings.
Knock, knock. Your microphone's not on. I totally beat you.
The microphone is now on. Sorry. Who's there?
Orange.
Who's there again?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you're going to tell them about the free $25 gift certificate they're going to receive?
Oh, yes. Yes. So our giveaway tonight is going to be a $25 gift certificate to the Cottage Hotel and Restaurant right there in the Four Corners in Mendon. Been there a long time, very popular place, and they're often a sponsor of our show. So we wanted to reach out and give something away from them. So how do they do that, Andrea? How do they sign up to put their ticket in the basket, so to speak?
Okay, so I think there's like a lot of people on Zoom because the social media platforms kind of crashed and burned, and that's okay. This is live theater. This is what happens. We pivot. That's the new word, is pivot. So if you're still on Facebook and you could hear this, like, share, and comment. If you are on Zoom, you might have noticed Margot like kind of, getting everybody excited. Put yourself, do a comment, say hello, say I want free food, whatever you want to do. But just kind of engage, and we'll put your name in a a bucket or whatever. I can't even think. And we'll pull it out, and then you'll win. And the winner will be announced tonight.
And we rehearsed this and rehearsed it so many times.
This
Really
is the voice from above. Margot has requested that all Zoom attendees enter in "There's no place like Mendon" if you'd like to be considered to win. There's no place like Mendon.
There's no place like Mendon. There's no place like
Good idea.
Mendon. Okay, cool. Thank you, Margot. All right, so that's the first thing. So we want to give you free stuff, so that's cool. Okay, yay us.
Yeah.
And then Patrick, what's the next thing we got to talk about? Let me think. Are you having fun yet? Do we want to hear a woohoo? All right.
Yeah. So what we want to talk about? Yeah, I'll tell you. So if you like what you see, you think it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And not just the show, but all the putting up the stage, all the rehearsals. It's a lot of fun. And it's really something to do to get through the winter, which can be very long around here. So please join us. We'd love to have you. You don't have to have any previous experience on stage, behind stage, anything. First time I was on stage, I got a lead role, and wow. Quite amazing, but I did it and it was fun. And that was back in 92 and I'm still here. So that kind of tells you something. So please come see us at mscptheater.org, right there at the bottom of the screen. And we have a contact form there. Contact us, let us know what you might be interested in. If you'd like to just come on one of our readings, whatever, we'd love to have you. So do it.
So what's more important is you guys are so important to us. We miss you. I cannot wait to see you in February 2022 and give you a big hug and say thank you for coming. I don't care. We'll be all good by then. It'll be fine. Hugs will be legal again. So this is the thing, okay? I want you guys to imagine yourself in the center, just enjoying yourself. And if you do see if you really like what you see and you're feeling like you want to, help us out, that stage is 38 years old. We're going to have to replace a lot of those things one by one. We are a nonprofit. We do everything, we do everything. So if you guys are feeling, the spirit move you and give us some donations, that's great. It's not really what we're all about, but if you want to give back, that's great. But most importantly, please come next year. We want to see you and we want you to be there with us. And if you could send some prayers and send some good vibes towards us, that would be awesome. We're giving them right back to you. Ready, Patrick? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Good vibes.
Love back to you.
Yeah. Okay. We just really, really appreciate the time that you're spending with us tonight. And I know that the inner super information super highway, is that what they used to call it? I don't remember. But like that, I know it's not really working that well for some of them, but we love you, man and woman and everyone. We just do. And if you guys are like theater people, like say hello in the chat, say hello on Facebook, anybody, and let us know. Anything else there, boss?
Travis and Dave. No, back to Travis and Dave. Let's get on with the show.
Well, thank you, Andrea and Patrick, and welcome back to Act 3. This section is on directors. Many of you might not understand just what the director's role is in putting on a stage show. The best comparison I think I can make is that of a football coach. While the team might have the best players, it is up to the coach to get the best out of them and to help motivate them individually as a team to perform even better than they think they can. We have been so fortunate to have some of the great directors in our past 39 years. All but one were raised from the ranks of our own group. Like Travis said, when Monsignor volunteered him and Kathy to put on a show, Travis had directed just one show prior. Kathy had never directed. The next clip we're going to show is a narrated slideshow that will explain who our directors have been over the years and how their leadership has enabled us to put on so many smiles on over 50,000 faces.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you very much. These next few slides are going to give you a kind of a quick recap. And as I said, because of my vast directorial experience when Monsignor drafted us, just one show, I ended up directing the first 3 shows. And the third show was Arsenic and Old Lace. And this photo shows Dick Schoen on the left, then Dick Herbison and Kathy in the cast. Well, after watching me for 3 years, Kathy decided she'd like to try her hand at directing. So she directed our 4th show, No Mother to Guide Her. Dick Herbison directed the next 2 shows. Then Kathy came back ready for prime time. She masterfully directed the next 4 shows. In 1990 and 91, the group volunteered to put on 2 shows, one in the winter and one in the fall, to help raise funds for building the new church, which would eliminate our having to move all the chairs. So we had lots of motivation. When Kathy directed the 2 fall shows, while Dick Schoen co-directed with me for one of the winter shows, and then I directed the second winter show. Then it was 1992, and which was our 10th year, and Frank Russell, who had been our very first villain in our first show, Pure as the Driven Snow, stepped up to direct our first repeat of a show, which was Pure as the Driven Snow. Now, as you can see here, Kathy directed or co-directed 10 of the next 12 shows. Wow. Then in 2003, Dave Baxter, whom Kathy and I had known through Penfield Players 30 years earlier, joined the group and helped us do wonderful techie things that you'll be hearing more about in other segments of this year's virtual show. In 2005 and 2006, Dave directed our very first complete 3-act shows written in-house by our own Don Cicchino. Now, it's one thing to direct a published show that's already been tried and tested, but it is totally different to direct a never before never before performed show. The good news was our writer, Don, was in both shows, so he and Dave could collaborate on needed script changes as rehearsals continued. Of the next 8 shows leading up to 2015, Kathy directed 4 of them. But then, as her Alzheimer's began to take its toll, she was assisted on the last 2. And then a wonderful thing happened. In 2015, the first of our next generation members volunteered to direct. Patrick Ashley had joined the group in 1992, and by 2015 had 17 shows under his belt, and direct he did. The next year, Andrea Borelli joined Patrick as co-director. Her first show with the group was in 2007. 2017 saw Mo McHugh co-directing, only because she had travel plans that year that prevented her from being on stage for the last weekend. Mo hates not being on stage. In last year's show, she helped Andrea, who had to take a part at the last minute due to another cast member suffering an injury. As they say, the show must go on. So the baton has now been passed. Andrea is now the new driving force, and she and Patrick are both to be thanked immensely for making this year's virtual show a reality as a placeholder for our live audience for next year. We're certainly looking forward to being back in the Schnackys Center next February in front of another audience, having fun laughing at us, throwing popcorn, and drinking beer. What could be more fun in February? Kathy Piper directed 24 shows for the group. In 2009, she was asked by Penfield Players to direct a show for them. In order to pull it off, we provided over half the cast and most of the backstage crew. But Kathy made it all happen, and it turned out it was their most successful show in years. Kathy's last show was in 2013. I helped her to try and focus, but it was hard. That fall, the group put on a Kathy Palooza for her, complete with readings, thank yous, comedy sketches, and songs. And of course, she loved every moment of it. And so many of our past participants showed up to thank her for years of love, encouragement, and support. Now Kathy's at Creekstone, an assisted living facility in Fairport, and still has that beautiful smile. Hopefully she and the other residents are watching this virtual show tonight so that they can learn more about the much-loved and successful director in their midst. Having observed all of our directors over the years, but mostly Kathy, since she and I were together pretty much 24/7 for 41 years that we've been married, here are my observations of the attributes for a director that make for a successful show. First, be prepared. Read the script. Get a vision in your mind of what you think the production should look like. Then read it many more times to get to know the show inside and out. Then use a scale model of the stage with cast member pieces. Move them around and see if it all works. And more importantly, if it all fits on the stage. Every time you move a piece and the move works, mark that move in your script. Here's a sample of Kathy's script for the show Deadwood Dick. Fortunately, she was the only one that had to make sense of it. Then when rehearsals start, everyone will say, "Gosh, that all seems so easy." Second, be a motivator. Work with each and every cast member to make them realize how important they are to the overall performance. And of course, they are. This picture is of Mo McHugh in her first show. She played the part of the attorney. All she had to do was walk in, present the deed to the ranch, and leave. But she kept practicing and rehearsing and told Kathy it just didn't feel right. Well, the night that she told Kathy that, Kathy woke up at 2 a.m, got up, got her script, started making notes. Next rehearsal, she she suggested that Mo play the role as an 85-year-old with a tremor. Well, by the time the show opened, Mo would reach into her briefcase to get the deed and first pulled out a banana. Imagine trying to eat a banana while your hand is shaking. The audience howled with laughter, and the two of them had created a monster. Over the years, Mo has probably played more roles than anybody else in the group. Two other traits I feel are so important for the director are humility and gratefulness. For the first few shows, we would have the director come out first and welcome the audience, go over the housekeeping rules, introduce the show. Kathy never really liked doing that. It's not about me, she would say. When the cast members or even the audience attendees would praise her about her work, she would give credit to them for their performance or for their laughter. And gracious should have been Kathy's middle name. Fortunately for all of us, including you at home, our audience, Andrea is doing a great job of carrying on the tradition of the Monsignor Schnacky community players here in Mendon, New York. Now, here are a few photos of Kathy at rehearsals. She loved directing and was so into everything that took place. She would feel what the actors felt. And even during a show, you could see her thinking about some refinement that had come to mind. Here she's giving a final pep talk to the cast and crew before we go upstairs to get ready for the night's show. Kathy Piper, thank you. And now here's one last little collection of 3 different clips. This first one is showing her giving notes in the kitchen. This is the very first show that she directed in 1984. And you can see she just takes charge. She knows what she wants. She's very clear in her explanations. And she got a good show because she knew what she was expecting. It was wonderful.
Jennifer, good on Act 1. It can be better. It can be bigger, okay? With Casper, your monster was fantastic.
Now, some of us were not paying real careful attention. Where we were all so young once upon a time. This next clip is just a short one, but it's so cute. Kathy came out during intermission. Well, that little piece doesn't belong there, but pretend you didn't see that. Okay, moving right on now.
Intermission, time to party and potty.
That's my girl. And in this next one, again, this is the 1986 show, and she's making the introduction at the beginning. But we still have the little cards on the table for people to fill out if you're interested in being involved with the group. And it was kind of one of her ideas, and we pursued this every year. Now it's in the program. It's all about getting people involved and come have fun with us, darn it.
That's what it's about.
Okay, there you go. So now you know a bit more about our directors over the years and how they've kept the Schnacky vision alive. So, Andrea, Patrick, back to you.
All right.
I love seeing all that stuff about Kathy. That was awesome. You know what always got me about her, she had this talent for what we call blocking. Blocking means putting people in the right place on stage. And no matter if there was 2 or like 22, she had a place for everybody. She knew where they should go, where they should move next, and so forth. I could never get it. She did it very easily. Amazing. And also, you could always go to her with a suggestion for maybe a little additional dialogue or something like that. And she would listen to you and give you a chance. So we love you, Kath. We're thinking of you, honey.
Yeah, I had the honor of assistant directing her for the Macaroni Kid. And I saw the amazing things she does. And I was so much in awe of her amazing talent. And I hope I can bring even a quarter of that, because really, I just do it just to have fun, and I actually do it as my job. Actually, I'm a drama director and drama teacher at a local school district. So I try to bring that spirit, because everybody needs to feel like they have a voice, and Kathy always brought that voice out, and I hope it can honor her, and I do try to, because she's awesome. And we in the spirit of things, we gave people a voice, right? So if you missed last night's show, we talked about this season and how we do have new acts, and we're going to bring two of them to you right now. So first, I want to introduce this by saying that, sometimes, Travis, on that list, you need to put director must make a fool out of themselves, because they expect the people to do it. And so this next clip, you're going to be inspired. I hope. All right, this is our first clip.
I know I stand in line until you think you have the time to spend an evening with me. And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. Then afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. I can see it in your eyes that you despise the same old lines you heard the night before. And though it's just a line to you, for me it's true and never seemed so right before. I practice every day to find some clever lines to say to make the meaning come true. Then I think I'll wait until the evening gets late and I'm alone with you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and oh, the night's so blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and oh, the night's so blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Okay, so
you could say that was the abbreviated version, and this is live stuff. So what are you going to do? This is why we love real theater that's live, so we don't have bandwidth issues.
So basically, Facebook crashed, I believe. So I don't know what's going on in there, but you know what? We're just gonna blame me with the blonde wig and move on. How's that, Don? You're way too cool. Too cool. Love you.
We'll
Don.
show that later in one of the later shows.
Yeah, and we're gonna actually post all these Schnackys Got Talent on our website so you guys can see it. So sorry, Don. You could cut me out actually and just be cool with like Frank Sinatra and your bad Frank Sinatra self. Okay. But speaking of that, you know what's interesting? We have our winner for our $25 gift certificate.
Oh, very good.
And this is just a coincidence. And please, this is not rigged at all. This is a coincidence. The winner is Christina Chiquino. So I like, okay, so that's his beautiful daughter. And like, really, like, thank you, honey, for watching. We love you. And, keep on trying. That was very ironic. Nothing, so it's all good, but congratulations. And, we will have more
Make
giveaways.
sure you take your dad out for some food.
Yeah, make it. And they do have a bar there. Just don't show up in a blonde wig like I did, but you're really beautiful. So we don't need to worry about it. Okay. So next is we have two beautiful women, besides Christine, in our midst, and that is Rena and Jeannie, and they are going to be singing "I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No."
It ain't so much a question of not knowing what to do. I've known what's right and wrong since I've been 10. I heard a lot of stories, and I reckon they are true, about how girls are put upon by men. I know I mustn't fall into the pit, but when I'm with a feller, I forget. I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go, just when I ought to say nix. When a fella tries to kiss a girl, I know you ought to give his face a smack. But as soon as someone kisses me, I somehow sorta wanna kiss him back. I'm just a fool when lights are low. I can't be prissy and quaint. I ain't the type that can faint. How can I be what I ain't? I can't say no. What you gonna do when a fella gets flirty and starts to talk purty? What you gonna do? Supposing that he says that your lips are like cherries or roses or berries, what you gonna do? Supposing that he says that you're sweeter than cream, and he's gotta have cream or dye, what you gonna do when he talks that way? Spit in his eye. I'm just a girl who can't say no, can't seem to say it at all. I hate to disappoint a beau when he is paying a call. For a while I'll act refined and cool, a-sitting on my velvety settee. And then I think of that old golden rule and do for him what he would do for me. I can't resist a Romeo in a sombrero and chaps. Soon as I sit on his lap, something inside of me snaps. We can't say no.
We can't say no, and you can't say no to coming to see us next year. Listen, I just wanted to tell everybody that the new stuff we did this year, we did in a COVID-safe manner. We used green screens and brought people on and off separately, like you just saw with those two people, and mixed it together later. So just wanted to let you know about that. Andrea?
Yeah, we covered that in the earlier show, so you guys can go back and look at it. But yes, just remember that we are, one of the reasons why we're doing it this way is to be safe for everyone. Thank you, Patrick, for bringing that up. And thank you, Jeannie and Rena, for having such a beautiful song to play. One of my favorites. Not my motto, but one of my favorites. So this is the thing. So we really appreciate you coming back. Sorry, it's getting close to the end. We're going to take you back to Travis and Dave just for their final farewell. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you.
Thanks for watching
tomorrow.
All right. Thank you all. This has been a lot of fun. We really appreciate it. And remember, in our hearts, you'll always be number one.
What is the loneliest number that you'll ever do? numbers, it's the number one. No is the saddest experience you'll ever know. Yes, it's the saddest experience you'll ever know. 'Cause one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. One is the loneliest number, oh, worse than two. It's just no good anymore since you went away. Now I spend my time just making rhymes of yesterday.